Alright guys, so today we're doing a Yukon XL 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. So the regular common issue that they all have with the AC. So this is where they all break at. Okay, so they start having AC problems. Now this customer, I already told him about it a couple of days ago, well, a couple of weeks ago. We recharged the system and it happened pretty soon again. So now we're doing the whole change. So that's the old one, as you can see, is already out. This is the new one. I already transferred the hardware, the plastics, this one right here and the one on this side. So now I'm going to show you guys how I got it out without disassembling the bumper and all this crazy stuff. So essentially, obviously everything is already taken apart. So basically I'm gonna walk backwards, because if you can see that pile of stuff, that's all the stuff that it was taken out to be able to get it done. So obviously you got the shield here, the plastic rivets or clips that you take that off. You got 2 bolts here on the radiator, one here and one right there. You got the lines that hook up to the condenser itself. You got a bracket here for the intake, the filter housing. And then you obviously got to take the whole plastic whole assembly here to be able to get the plastic off, so then you can get to the bottom plate. Now the bottom plate, it has 5 bolts. There's 2 here, there's 2 right here, and there's 3 right here. This 2 you don't have to take out, because the plate you can move it up and unhook it, but the one in the center is the one that secures it so it doesn't move. You gotta take that one out. That plate is gonna have a clip here, so you can loosen up the line. And then there's gonna be another plate here underneath the filter that is gonna have like 4 bolts, I believe. 2 on this side and 2 over here. Take that out, then you're gonna get to the bottom plate. You take that plate out, and then there's gonna be a plastic cover that sits in between covering the radiator and the condenser, and that's gonna have some half clip-ons. You're gonna see it, it's like right here in the corner. You gotta click it so the plastic would unclick, and then it's click all the way through the radiator, all the way across, so you just keep on clicking it. Once you move the radiator, you can slide it out. So that being said, on this other side you're gonna have another hard line for the transmission or power steering. I don't know which one it is that goes through the condenser. I haven't followed the line, so it's gonna be a quick connect. One of those little pins. See if you can see that. It's gonna be right here. So you gotta disconnect it on this side first, then move to this side and unclick it from the condenser. Okay. So once you move that, it's obviously gonna be a little of a mess, so you gotta clean up after yourself. But once you click that, and you remove the line from the outside as well, there's going to be a click here. Okay, there's going to be a click here that you got to push in so that the condenser will come up. And there's going to be a click here. Okay, but before that, you obviously got to drain the lines, which these are the lines that connect to the condenser. And this is the one on the bottom. They go connected together with one stud in the middle, at number 13. See this little bracket here? That bracket has the bracket that holds the line from the back, so that this thing is sturdy onto the condenser itself. So that's a 10mm. So once you move the radiator forward a little bit and you got the new condenser back in, you gotta tie it down first, then you connect your lines. And before removing, when you remove the condenser, once you move the radiator forward, then You unbolt that, and then you unclick this pieces here, and then by pushing down you can get it out through here. Now I'm going to do it the same way, putting everything back together. It's going to be the same process. I'm sorry this video started backwards. It's just that I requested the customer if I could record it after I already started doing the process. So this is probably the quickest and fastest way to get this job done. I've seen a lot of people that they go and they try to take this cross member here. In the past I did it that way too as well. I took the cross member out. It's a pain in the neck because it has like 3 bolts. It has like 1 here and 2 in here, and then you can take it out, but then you gotta mess around with the headlight if you want to make it easier on yourself, and there comes the bumper. So it starts becoming a headache. This is the quickest and fastest way to get it done. It's just loosen out the radiator, push it forward, take everything off, it slides in and out. So let me get the new one. Slide it in there. Hopefully I could probably set up the camera in a way that you guys can see how I put it back in. If not, I'll show you guys once it goes in, and it should be pretty straightforward. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so here we go. See if we can get this done. One-handed here. Gotta be careful, you don't want to scratch the new condenser. What you want to do is just gonna walk it in there. Gotta play with the lines. All the plastic. Almost in. So now underneath on the bottom side there's going to be some guides just like the one on top. Okay, so we want to make sure that we put it in those 2 guides just like the ones here on top, so that the condenser is straight on his position. Okay, so once you have it in one, you gotta make sure that it's top and bottom at the same time basically. So what I like to do is set it on the guy before clicking it, because once you click it, it's in there. So I like to this hardware, this plastic on this side came loose from the tube. So now I got it on both sides. Just gonna push it that way a little bit. Kind of center. Top, bottom. There we go. Okay. So now that I got the bracket center, you want to just push down on it until it clicks. Now, most likely it's not gonna click. You're gonna have to get a little bracket or a little something to push, and you might have to push on that bracket so it will lock it in place. Alright, once it's locked in place, it's in there. So let me see if I can show you guys here what I was talking about. See this little clever, a little clip here. If you look it for the front, see this is the little locker. So once it's in there, make sure that it kind of comes up. And you gotta do the same thing on this side. See, this is the locker right here. So make sure that it's up so it will lock this pin in, and on the bottom is gonna be locked in already. So pretty much now all we have to do is we got to put the plastic cover that goes in here before we slide it in, before we slide the whole thing in. We gotta put the lines. This little bracket here, we gotta bolt it in. I don't know if you can see right there, this bracket. We gotta bolt that bracket in so everything is in place. We gotta make sure that this plastic, I think it has like a little guideline on the bottom of the radiator, so it clicks. I'm gonna make sure that it's in there, and then the cover that goes over it, it clicks here on both sides. Okay, it has a little clip there. So yeah, let me get that cover in, but first we got to put the tubes. So you got this one over here, that line, the hard line from here to here. We're gonna click it first here, and then the one in the bottom. And then I'm sorry, it already comes with its own clips, so you don't have to save the old ones per se. So let me click that, and then I'll show you guys after I put all the hardware back on how it looks after I do that. Alrighty, be right back. Alright guys, so let me show you. We got the lining there. Now it's pretty hard with a new clip on it, so you might want to take the clip off to make it easier on yourself. Put it in and then put the new clip on. We got it on the guide. We got the bolt tightened down. On this side, this one's probably the trickiest one. I took the clip off, put the line here, but you gotta make sure that you're already on this position to put the one on the bottom. So you can see right there. So you put that on, make sure that everything is tight and put in place. Now we gotta put the top cover. We're gonna put the top cover, make sure that it clicks, and then we just gotta guide the bottom section where the radiator sits on. So let me put the cover on, and then we go from there. Alright guys, so now we have the new cover on. So you can see where the middle section is on this side here. Let's see if I can point it out to you guys. Right there, it has a little clip. That's where it's going to hook up. And then on this side here, same on that middle section. I don't know if you can pick that up. You see that little clip there? It's going to hook up in there. And then this is just basically on the center of the radiator. So that's on. Now if you look over here, all the way down there, this plastic has to kind of, see that plastic on the bottom, that plastic? That one right there, it has a little guide for this plastic to slide in, so you got to pick it up, and that's probably going to fall in once the radiator grommets, the rubber piece, it's in place. That's just most likely going to fall in there then. So yeah, let me do the one on the bottom, the one over here, put the radiator back in place, secure it with the two bolts on top, one here and one over there. And then we should be able to put our stud here so we can put these lines and then start covering this section here. So yeah, let me do that and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, so as you can see, everything is tight in the center here. So everything is guide on the bottom. The radiator is back on his hole at the bottom. The hose is in, the club is in. I just put the stud on, so I gotta put these hoses in now. Pretty much everything over here is set. It's ready to go. I just gotta spray it down to clean up the mess. Yeah, so now all I gotta do is connect my lines. So you can see this one goes in first, and then this one has a little half moon on it, so it just walks in there. Okay, and then you put the nut on, and then you should be able to go. So you want to put new seals in there if possible. I already got new seals, and on top of that, this car only has 40,000 miles, so pretty straightforward new. But I got new seals in there already. I gotta clean this mess over here before I put the intake and all that stuff in. But other than that, gotta tie that down, Gotta start putting my brace, my bracket over here, and I start working my way out. So I'm gonna show you guys how that's done. So let me see if I can set up the camera so I can show you guys this little section here. Alright guys, so before I clean this side, before I start closing this side, I'm gonna clean up whatever I can here. So there's no residue on there. So now we got our bracket. And the way she goes is basically just like this. So we don't get underneath the reservoir. And then you got 2 bolts. Okay, 2 bolts that you sit on. And then you just gotta get all the bolts lined up. See if I can get them here. So you got 2 bolts here. And you got the 3 on this side, but the 1 on the center is the one that locks in place. And everything is 13. Well, actually no, it's 10. So we're gonna start here on the back wall. We're gonna start on the one in the center. So everything is 1 bolt basically. We're gonna work inside the other one. The 2 ones up here.
You want a water or catering?
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's very hot.
I know.
How's everything?
So far, so good.
Alright.
I'm almost done the installation, and then I just gotta do the vacuum, and it should be good to go.
Alright, the vacuum.
Yeah, we gotta vacuum the system to be able to put the new freon on. Yeah.
Alright.
So maybe in another 45 minutes, I want to say.
Okay.
Should be good to go.
Alright.
Thanks. Alright guys, the customer is giving me some water, and the sun is pretty bad right now. So let me show you guys. So far, so you guys see, we got the 2 bolts here, the 3 down there, and now we just got to put the tray that goes over here so we can put the manifold, the intake manifold housing type of thing. So let me show you guys back up again. Let me get that on. We got this tray here. Okay. That's going to take 4 bolts. Actually, they're supposed to be black bolts. And that's going to be on number 10. show you guys, but you can see those 4 bolts there. Now I gotta put the bottom housing in, so then we can put the other half. So now we got 2 pinholes that we gotta line up. Okay, so everything lined up. Now I'm gonna get the filter on the top half. So we should replace that filter in the very near future. It looks like it hasn't been changed in quite a while. Okay. Let's put our plug in, lock it in place, lock the harness. Let's forget to put this harness in place. Okay. The AC line secured to the bottom piece. So now we got 4 bolts. Only 3 bolts. So 3 bolts, I'll do there number 8. And this is a plastic housing, so you don't want to over tighten it. You're not supposed to over tighten it, because later that's how you take the plastic housing, and then you can't use it. Or I mean, you can use it, but you have to tie it down. So we got that on. Alright, so we got that section on. Now we just gotta put this section here. And yes, this is where you were standing on. Now this bolt here, it goes here. I took it out to see if I could get a little bit more movement here, but it really didn't help out. So I want to tie that down again. Now we just put the intake back on. I don't know why that's off, but there we go. We gotta put the intake back on, and then we're pretty much close, ready to start vacuuming the system and putting Freon. So let me put the intake back on, which is pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of hooking up here, tying it down, the PVC, and then this one, and then everything's ready to go. And then we gotta hook up our gauges and start doing vacuum and so on. And we gotta put the cover that goes here. So yeah, let me get that set up and let's see if I can put you guys back where I had you guys. Alright guys, so here we are. Make sure that we hook up over here. Okay. And it has its own little guide on that side. Put that in place. Very fast clip-ons. There we go. Now we tie the clamps down. There's no need to over tighten them as well. You just gotta leave these snug in there. Okay, so let me get that plastic that goes right here. Let me tie that down for a second. Okay, so we can put that plastic. Okay, now we can put the plastic on. Okay, so we gotta put the little bar that go on the corners first before putting that plastic on. I'm gonna try to get that in place. And then basically the plastic goes back on and then you're good to go. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so this is the bar that I was missing to install here and outside over there. And now we got all these little clips on, put back in place. So always double check your steps, make sure that everything is locked in place, everything is clicked on where it's supposed to be, everything is secure. Now we can hook up, start doing vacuum, and then later after that we start adding the freon. But everything is back where it's supposed to be, nothing looks out of place or missing, no extra bolts. So yeah, let me hook up, start doing vacuum on it, and then show you guys when it's finished. Alright guys, so cheese all done, everything is back together. We recharged the system already. She's getting pretty cold. You see that sweating right there, sweating back there, we're dripping on the floor. So she's getting right now on the gauge just about 32 degrees. So she's getting pretty cold on a standby, idling. So yeah, like always guys, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.